97. Nick Jonas, it's so good to see you
What
again.
up? Good to see you.
All right, so you have a new album that just
I
dropped.
do.
Last
Yeah.
year was complicated, huh?
It's very exciting. Came out last Friday.
Right.
I've been working on it for about a year and a half. Teamed up with some friends of mine and kind of dug in. Just wrote about some stuff that's real to me, and the reaction's been incredible.
So let's talk about Comfortable. Because you have the Allen Iverson sample on it.
Yeah.
So now, for an AI fan, we understand. We get this. What made you want to do that?
I've always thought that was one of the most interesting clips in the world.
Yeah.
Because what you hear in it is that he kind of comes full circle. He starts to, at first he's totally just saying, whatever, just practice, right? But then midway through, he starts to realize that he does have a responsibility, and there are people that look up to him and all this stuff. So it's kind of an interesting thing. And then we were making this track actually here in New York City at a studio that I work in a lot called Jungle City, which I love. And we had the bridge open. We're like, should we leave it open for a rap or a feature, whatever? And then it came on TV. It was like
That's so perfect.
the anniversary of it, and we were like, no way. So we recorded it and threw it on the track, and it sounded like a spoken word. It was perfect.
Yeah. Were you an AI fan growing up?
I grew up in Jersey, and the Nets were kind of my team by default. But it was some of the good years, but a lot of bad years.
Yeah.
So I didn't really have like a team growing up.
Right now, who do you want, Steph or LeBron to win?
I mean, I really love Steph Curry.
Yeah.
I love Golden State as a whole. I think it's just a really exciting team to watch. But also, I think LeBron, it would be good to see him get another one.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so for Steph right now. I don't know. I just want Steph to win.
Yeah, I mean, of course. But I think that Steph still has some time to, whereas LeBron's,
it's
it's like go time.
Yeah.
It's go time right now.
All right, so let's talk about other songs. You have the single Close on the new album with Tovalo. How was that?
Awesome. Tove is incredible. She's a fearless artist and woman who, is on the same label as me, so it's kind of an easy connection there. Immediately we became friends, and over the winter last year we started talking about collaborating on something, and it all kind of came together pretty quickly. I sent her the track, she loved it, and she flipped her verse around, made it her own, which was good. And then we just worked on the video and tried to make it something really special. And our first TV performance of the song was on SNL, so a little bit of pressure there, but it was exciting. And then I got Ty on the song and Big Sean as well, which I'm so thrilled about that came together.
How did those two collabos work out for you?
Well, almost a year ago, I guess it was a year ago this weekend, I was up in Toronto for the Much Music Awards, and Abel, the weekend, had a bunch of us over his house just to hang out and listen to music, and so at one point it was Abel, Ed Sheeran, and Ty and myself all like playing each other music. Ty played a song of his called "Horse in the Stable," which I think is amazing.
Goodness, yeah.
Yeah, it's like one of those. And I was like, listen, we got to do something together, and it took some time for it to come together. But I wrote Bacon again, sent it to him. Was like, what do you think? I'd love to have you jump on, and he was like, I'm all over it. So he killed it. And
that's nice to have for everything to come together organically. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Has there been anyone that you wanted to work with and it just hasn't happened yet on your like wish list that you're like, you know what, I want to put this in the universe. I really want to work, with these three people eventually, sometime in my career.
Yeah, there's a couple. I mean, I really wanted to work with Prince. That was a dream.
Yeah.
And I worked with a lot of people that worked with him.
That's
I made
awesome.
a side project a couple years ago called Nick Jonas the Administration, and it was me and a bunch of guys that were part of a new power administration. So I kind of had some connection, but I never got the chance to work with him. Rest in peace.
Yes.
And then Kanye. I'd love to work with Kanye. I love Life of Pablo and pretty much all of what he does. One of my favorite quotes is his quote. It's my biggest regret in life is that I'll never have a chance to see myself perform live.
Yes.
It's so good.
I love it.
Yeah, it's great. And then Drake as well.
Oh, yeah.
I met him, I don't know, maybe like 6 months ago at a friend's birthday party, and he had some really nice things to say about my stuff.
Oh, nice.
Which was cool. He's been a big influence on the new record, I think. It's great to see artists becoming more vulnerable and being able to pour more into their music, say more, do more, and I think he and I would make some good shit together. So
yeah. I agree. So let's talk about Chainsaw, because I saw this. Everyone was talking about this song. Is this like real life? Is this?
Yeah, the whole thing is kind of pulled from real life experience. But Chainsaw specifically, I was in the house that I spent a lot of time in with my ex. My brother Joe and I have a place up in Mammoth, California, which is about 6 hours north of LA, and it's like a mountain town that just feels really peaceful, and it's kind of a good escape from craziness of LA. So I was up there, and I was walking through the house, and everything reminded me of my ex, and so I had some friends up there with me, and we just sat down and wrote this song. And I think it's my most personal song I've written.
Really?
Yeah.
How hard was dealing with the breakup?
It came in stages. I think that initially it was about, all right, cool. I'm gonna pour it into the music and just get it out that way and not really think about it too much. And then over time, it starts to. There are things that come back and you go, oh man, I didn't even think about that, and I gotta find a way to sort of evolve as a person and grow from this experience. And I did. And the whole record's not about that. I mean, that's a part of it and a big piece. But there's a bunch of songs. The song that Sean's on, for instance, is about going out one night to a club and looking around and being like, you should value yourself more than you are for everybody in there. And it was just an interesting thing to think about. And then he loved the message and had some really good pieces to add to it.
So right now, where are you at? Do you want a girlfriend? Are you single? Because your fans are like, we need to know what he wants. It's like, okay.
I think that I'm in a place where I'm enjoying just meeting people and hanging out, and my work is kind of my main focus. I got the tour coming up this summer. I'm gonna be busy, and I'm young. I'm 23, be 24 pretty soon, and I'm not trying to be in any kind of relationship at the moment, but just meeting great people, connecting with people, and having that be it.
We do a show on MTV called Girl Code, and that's like the number one line we say. If a guy says like, "Oh, I'm young," it's like, run. That's what that means.
Oh, really?
We're like, "Oh, run."
Why is that?
Well, because it just means he's just like chilling right now. If you want commitment,
see
that's not the words you want to hear as a girl.
Yeah. Okay. Good to know.
Yeah. Right. But now you know what you're getting yourself
involved. But a girl
that's
looking for something in particular, though.
Always.
Because it is attractive to some people.
Yes. Always. There's always someone that's attracted to something, but at least you're honest. You're like, hey, look, I'm young. I'm not really trying to like run off and get married right now.
Exactly. Imagine if I was like, I'm looking to settle down, have some kids.
Oh my, listen.
Can you imagine?
Yes,
you would tell me, you'd be like, chill out, you're young. That's what you would say.
I would say, relax.
Yeah.
Take it easy, go live your life, travel, tour
the
world times a million.
We just can't win, Us men, we can't win. You don't say anything right.
It's so typical. See, like men, I can't win. We can't win. So now, Nick Jonas, we've seen you with your brothers, and now that you're solo, how has it been like just doing your own thing at this point? Like, and obviously getting the support from them. Do you like it? Do you like not sharing the stage, or do you miss them?
I'm really proud of how far things have come as a solo artist. I've worked really hard to grow and make bold artistic statements that I'm proud of. And I think that Joe doing his own thing with DNC, his band, has been amazing. I'm so proud of him. And then our oldest brother, Kevin, has a family now. He's got a 2-year-old and a baby on the way.
So great.
And his wife, it's amazing. And he's actually working with a tech company and doing very well. So I think everyone's happy.
That's great.
It took a minute to get adjusted to traveling on my own and being kind of on my own. And I think it's still an adjustment. Which is nice that I got to tour with Demi this summer. She's one of my closest friends.
That's so awesome.
It's like family there too, so we'll be able to hang and kind of, break the ice of traveling alone and all that.
Do people try to get you and Demi to hook up all the time because you guys are best friends? Are they like, just do it? And
kind
you're
of.
Like, no.
It's so weird, because it really is like we're kind of like brother and sister in a lot of ways. That's the relationship, and I think people just have a hard time understanding that that's possible. Yeah. But I am a firm believer that guys and girls can be friends, and it's cool.
Yeah.
And so, it is a little frustrating because you're like, you really don't get it. It's not like that.
It's hard for, like, girlfriends to understand that.
Yeah, of course.
Like, that's like, wait, that's your best. I'm your best friend. I'm your everything. And it's like, what are you doing?
I'm your everything.
Yeah. Now I heard that your manager partnered up with Jay-Z, Rock Nation, and
Yeah.
there's a little bit of a co-managing when it comes to everything. So how's that going for you? Do you actually get to see Jay-Z? How does this work?
Yeah, so I met Jay at Made in America last year, and first of all, it was an exciting time. I was gearing up for the third single release, and to be honest, I was a little insecure about
Well, yeah.
just being on that bill and what the reaction would be. I didn't know what to expect. I walk out on stage, and so much love in Philly too,
That's
which
so
is
dope.
a crazy, it's a crazy city, and I was like, I was blown away. So that happened. It was like 25, 30,000 people singing every word back to me, and
That's
then I look
crazy.
over, and Jay and his whole crew are walking over, and the deal was already in place with my manager and
Right.
Rock Nation, so I knew there was love there, but he was right side of stage watching the whole set, and after the show, he pulled me over and said, "Listen, I want to be, I want to be here for you in any way I can. So just let me know, from the biggest things to the smallest things. This is a real partnership." And so it
That's
was a really exciting
awesome.
thing. And then he was like, "Just hang with me all day." So we went around the festival after my set. And so when it came time to kind of finalize the album, I went in and had lunch and played in the music and just got his thoughts overall. I had a different title picked out for the record.
Right.
But he was like, as I've gotten to know you over the last couple months and kind of felt your personality and your sense of humor about things and just your outlook of what you've been going through, he's like, I feel like we can come up with something that is a better sort of representation of the body of work. And so he's like, just tell me about this last year of your life. I was like, last year was complicated. He was like, that's the title. I was like, oh,
Oh, Jay-Z.
there it is.
There it
Yeah.
is. And that was it. And you're
That's it.
done.
Yeah.
Have you seen Beyonce around, or is it like,
Yeah, I mean, she was there.
she was there? Were you just,
Well, she showed up after we were done.
yeah.
She was handling her own business.
You know what? It was funny. We had DJ Khaled on the show. He was like, "Yeah, every time I see her, I can barely like look at her. I just look away because he's so shy." Like, how did you say anything to her, or was it just like more like, "Hey, cool, just keep it business and
Yeah, it was business. I mean, the thing is that I think there's a certain respect that kind of
Right.
comes into play where they're a family at the end of the day. So you
Yeah.
give them their space, let them do their thing. But in the times I've seen them together and all the rest, they're amazing, and she's incredible. Obviously,
That's so awesome."
Lemonade is one of the I think the most sort of thought out, bold, artistic
Yeah.
statements in the last maybe 20 years. It's
And we
pretty
needed
brilliant.
that. I think
Yeah.
it's great. I love seeing artists really, not being scared to be vulnerable, like you were saying earlier. It's like it's nice to see that for once.
Yeah.
So now, when it comes to you, have you ever been starstruck?
I just met, basically royalty in the UK.
Yeah.
And it was really interesting because I had to speak at the event. So it was a combination of two things. It was the Duchess of Cornwall, and who's the future queen, and I was there and I was about to speak and read this essay written by an 11-year-old who had won this award for this amazing thing. The whole thing was incredible. It was so nerve-wracking. So I'm
Yeah.
about to go speak. I'm already nervous about that. And they're like, this is Her Majesty. And you're
Yeah.
like, how do I address? Do I shake? There's so many things that you have to be aware of. And as an American, I'm just like, I feel like I need to take a class right now because I'm not prepared for this. So I just was like, thank you. Thank you. I just ended up saying thank you about 100 times. But that was it. I mean, besides that, like athletes, I'll get excited that not even like starstruck, but just excited to be
Yeah.
around people that I grew up watching. I'm a huge Yankees fan. I met Derek Jeter a few times, and the first time I met him, I was just like, listen, I'm a huge Yankees fan.
Yeah.
You're awesome. You're my hero. I wear number 2 for you when I play. That kind of thing.
Yeah. Was there anyone that was shocked when you said anything to them, like, "Oh, I was really happy to meet you"? And they're like, "Oh, really? I didn't
Yeah,
think
I mean, I think the thing that's interesting is there's this mentality that it's not cool to show respect to somebody that you
Yeah.
that you like, and I think it's always better to just be upfront and be like, yo, I really like what you do. I think it's great. You've inspired me in some way. There are times you get asked a follow-up question,
Yeah.
and maybe you're like not as familiar as you thought you were,
Yeah.
or you're
Yeah.
nervous in that moment. You're like, I didn't expect a follow-up. So when someone's like, I really love your music. It's been a big inspiration. They're like, what's been the biggest inspiration? And you're like,
I
well, at
bet.
this moment, I'm blanking because it's on my playlist and it's within my, yeah.
Yeah.
That was embarrassing.
I got it.
I was
So great.
it was a bad moment. And he was like, "Oh, okay." I
Okay.
walked away. I was
Well,
like, "Oh, no."
thanks for that.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, let's talk about acting. Scream Queens and Kingdom. So
Yeah.
let's talk about it. So you play a closeted gay man in the show.
In Kingdom.
Does it get weird for you, or was it easy? Was it?
No, I think the acting's a huge part of my life now, and something an art form that I really love. I started in musical theater here in New York, so storytelling on any level, whether it was music or on theater or television, whatever, is something I really connect with. And when this role came up, I was thrilled because it gives me the chance to grow as an actor and really push myself in that way. And the character's amazing. I play a guy called Nate. He's a fighter. MMA fighter who kind of gets knocked on his ass and has to kind of pick the pieces up of his life and figure it all out. And one of the biggest pieces is how complicated his family is, and then his struggle to feel accepted, and to really be okay with himself. So it's been a bit of a journey for the character. The third season's airing right now, and it's all going very well. And then there's a movie called Goat that I did, which is about fraternity culture, hazing. It's based off a book by the same name. So we were at Sundance with that, and Berlin Film Festival, got a great reaction.
So if you had to stick with one paycheck, acting paycheck or music paycheck, which one would you stick to?
It's tough to say. I mean, I think music always kind of comes first, and it is just within me.
Right.
And I wouldn't be able to escape that urge to do that. But the acting's fun, and it challenges me in a whole different way. So thankfully, I don't have to choose.
Yeah.
I get to do both, which is nice.
For now,
For now.
because you might be stranded on an island one day, and they're like, "Hey,
You can only do one or the other.
you can only pick one," and you're like, "Well, I
Yeah.
love music, but I like getting paid, so it's gonna be tough."
Yeah, it's true.
Anything else that you're really looking forward to?
There's a few things. On a creative level overall, I've been really trying to push myself to take on a few different projects, and one of the things that I'm really excited about is a collaboration I'm doing with Creative Recreation and some sneakers and shoes, a shoe line.
Nice.
Which has been really fun. Just being able to design it first of all, but then oversee the creative of it. With the acting stuff I've done and music videos over the years and all the rest, I really have an eye now, I think, for curating kind of the look and feel of a campaign and what I want it to be. So we just shot the campaign for the shoes. The rollout will be over the next couple months, but I'm really excited about that. I think directing is something I really want to do, so that's kind of up next, working on some projects there. And then, the tour. The tour is the biggest thing. So we kick off June 29th. We go till September 17th in the U.S. and Canada. Me and Demi co-headlining with Mike Posner opening.
That's dope.
It's going to be a fun tour. And then the fall, trying to get over to Europe and South America and all the rest as well.
And then maybe a day off.
I'm taking vacation, actually.
When? When is this?
I'm taking a vacation right after this weekend. So,
Oh.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week.
Oh, great.
3 days. But it's going to be amazing.
I love how vacation always sounds longer. You're like, yeah, 3 days.
3 days.
What are you gonna do? Can you tell us, or is it like?
I'm gonna hang, smoke cigars, play golf.
Yes.
Sit by the pool. It's gonna be good.
And then back on the road to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Miami for rehearsals.
It's not a bad
We're
place.
gonna try to get some work done.